Only I lie with a painted smile and say I'm fine. So you can't see pain through this coat of paint. Now you can't see pain through my coat of paint. And I learned that science proves that Superman should be black. I tell people he was. I am Apollo the Child, and I am a spoken word artist. I loved hip hop. You know, my older cousins introduced us to a lot of hip hop. So they're like, yeah, I really love rap and everything. It's like, well, you should try writing. So I did. So I started writing, and the writing was awful because I was like young and did not know what I was doing. Spoken word artist was like the coolest thing to me, and I wanted to be one. I decided I was going to do the holiday assembly. So at first when I signed up to do hip hop. And then everybody's like, oh, cool, you're going to rap. And I was like, no, I'm going to do some spoken word. Sit and write until our skulls and skies lit on fire. So I gave you the name of Johnny Blaze. I gave you the name of Johnny Blaze, and Johnny was a good Superman, and it figured. Everybody loved that. And I got a great reaction. And so I knew there was something there. I wish I can go back in time to when we realized we were both beings with big smiles and we would try to outgrin each other and the laughing fits that ensued. When you're young, you kind of don't want to be different. You don't want to stand out like that at all, you know? A lot of children of immigrants now have kind of been learning that you kind of have two identities, two cultures. I didn't know where I belonged. انتم متوا قبلنا واحنا نموت وراكم الله يرحمك. If it wasn't for art, I don't think I would have made it through. You know, in the Middle East specifically, I know in other cultures as well, like there's a huge kind of stigmatization around it where, and I know a lot of people in the community have kind of suffered through mental health issues, and it's almost seen as something to be ashamed of. I'm so sorry it took me this long to speak of you. I'm just so tired of writing these eulogies. Another friend of mine actually passed away. She took her own life that year too, like literally right before school started, and that kind of impacted a lot of us. My parents were really counting on me to get a university degree and then start really helping out with the family. I felt very alone. I felt like I was just a student number. Eventually I decided what was best for me was to drop out. Didn't run it by my parents, was very, very afraid of what they might think or what they might say. Again, because like, it was a big responsibility, and I did kind of crumble under that pressure. I dealt with my depression through art.
My people, if you want me, say word. Word. My people, if you want me, say word. Word. My people, if you want me, say love. Love. There you go.
The organizer was like, hey, come out to Urban Legends. Like, it's going to be a bi-weekly show, but we are doing an open mic.
Thank God the sun was just coming up. I walked to the bathroom.
I learned a lot about myself, and I really came into myself because of Urban Legends. I took over the directingship of Urban Legends in 2014-15, and I've been running it ever since. The once quiet, skinny former Afro samurai is now leader of the show we started slamming at. I say that with pride. I took my art nationally. I was a rapper first before I ever was a poet. I love music. I love music. So my brother and I, we have a radio show together at Carleton.
Let him know,
When I first kind of started doing it, at that point I've been performing for at least 5 years, and being on that mic I was absolutely petrified. And then eventually my older brother's like, hey man, like, just think of it as us having a conversation. I know that at the end of the day, if everything goes wrong, I know my family's there to hold me down and help support me, especially after opening up to my parents about my depression. We were polar opposites and yet the same. I go by Apollo the Child, that's my artistic name, the name that I always bring to the stage. When I was in 10th grade, and I stumbled upon the section of the Greek god Apollo, and he was not only tasked in bringing the sun, he also ruled over the arts. We promised we would be spoken word. We promised we would build a community using words. And I'm doing all that we talked about, all that we planned for, all that you gave me confidence. My name is Khaleefa Hamdan, and I am a spoken word artist.
I'm standing at the edge of the world. Or was it the edge of a cliff? There's no real way to be sure. But I've been here before. With closed eyes and open sores, I look to the sky.